Hello there, Victor Simmons, the Medigap expert here. Today I want to tell you a senior story. I was recently speaking with a lady in Henderson, Tennessee. Let's call her Carol, not her real name. And when I spoke with Carol, we briefly spoke and she was telling me how she's healthy and she really only goes to the doctor once or twice a year for her annual checkups. And she didn't even remember the last time she went to the hospital until actually when she started to think about it, she did say that she had a freak accident where she tripped down the stairs or something like that and broke her ankle and had to go to the emergency room. But other than that, she kind of prides herself of not really going to the hospital. And again, she only goes to the doctor a couple of times a year for her annual mammograms and checkups of those sorts. Now, when it comes to her prescription meds, Carol didn't take many prescription meds other than pretty standard cholesterol meds, high blood pressure meds, and an anxiety med that she took. So Carol, who's 67, has been on her husband's employer plan. In fact, she felt that she was so healthy that she didn't even elect Medicare when she was first eligible when she turned 65. Now, Carol had an upcoming surgery actually at the turn of this year. So she decided last year that she was going to elect her Part B. And that started January 1st, 2020. Now, here's where Carol made a mistake. She stayed on her husband's employer plan. And her husband's employer plan works similar to a lot of employer plans that you might even be familiar with, where it costs $248 a month to have her on his plan. And then she would have to meet an $800 deductible before the plan actually went to 2020. Now, when Carol had her surgery, to her surprise, she got an $800 bill in the mail. She didn't understand why. So when I spoke with Carol, I was explaining to her that when she elected her Medicare, they're taking $144.60 out of your Social Security, which Carol agreed that is what's coming out. Well, her employer plan with her husband was still serving as her primary. Therefore, she got that bill for $800 in the mail because that is who the hospital billed for her surgery that she had. So when I spoke with Carol and we were looking at her different options, actually Plan N made the most sense for Carol because she doesn't really go to the doctor that often. She's used to having co-pays being on her husband's employer plan. And then, as we know, the Part B deductible for Medicare is only $198. So saves herself about $600 just in the deductible alone. Now here's the big part. Her Plan N only cost her about $71.33 a month. So now Carol is saving herself $177 a month while having better coverage, a lower deductible, and she can go to any doctor or hospital that she wants. So needless to say, Carol jumped on the Plan N and she was very excited about that. However, she was still a little perturbed that someone didn't explain this to her earlier and that she was still paying that deductible that she was responsible for. And then also she was a little upset that, this was something that she had to come out of pocket. But like I told Carol, at least we're talking in February and we're not talking in July, and you would have been paying your Part B and your husband's employer plan for all of those months. She agreed. So hopefully this helped you out. If you can relate to a story like this, or if you know someone else who might be in a similar situation, this is what I always recommend and I tell people. Whether you go with me or you go with someone else or not, you always want to at least compare what makes the most sense. To stick with your original Medicare and go with a Medigap plan, or go and stick with your employer plan. Okay? So do you go with Medicare or do you stick with your employer plan? You at least want to see what's going to make the most sense. Compare the price of the deductible, the price of the premium, and then see how often you go to the doctor or the hospital, and just do yourself a favor and see what makes the most sense to you. Okay, so hopefully this story provided you some value. If I can help you out, please contact me. I'm Victor Simmons. I'm the Medigap expert. Until next time, take care. Be well.